One of the things I'm grateful for at this particular time is that we have the luxury of time. This did not happen in a summer session where we had to just blaze through everything while trying to deal with family and relatives and friends, and so we were able to take a nice deep breath and get some work done. Let's look at the fun things that are coming up. Let's go over that together real quick. Now, all of the flash fiction and everything has already been turned in, I hope. I'll be making this classic literature essay was due, and as was the poetry coming up. Well, it was due, but I want to mention that a little bit. You know, I'm not going to be grading anything, as luck would have it, until Monday. Today is Thursday. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot to get this or that in, you do have a little bit of a fun window there to get things submitted and ready to go. Did you remember the word count? That kind of thing. So I'll make sure that all of these assignments are still open and open for submission, and you make sure that you have turned everything in correctly. I want to just go over it. Sometimes people speed through this poetry unit, and I understand why, because in a semester where we just have so little time, and people are working and taking care of families, it just, to sit down and watch poetry readings, it just sounds like it's just, ugh. But I want you to know that's my favorite page that I have ever built in my life. And I want to show it to you real quick. I'm going to go right here. You know, I've taught poetry classes before where we went through symbolism and meter and rhyme scheme and all that kind of thing. But this is a survey course, and I didn't want to do that. And I thought one of the most fun some ways to create a poetry section is to actually hear it. Poetry is written to be listened to. It's the music of life. And so if you haven't had a chance to go through here and listen to these, of course I only included the very best. And of course I only included the ones that are just beautifully recorded. There's all kinds of wonderful poems in here, and I hope that you will go back and take a look at that if you did not spend the time in the poetry unit that you might have liked to. So let's make sure we do that. I didn't do a time tracking on it. This is meant to be at a point in the course where you've just written a classic essay, you've just done your flash fiction, and I thought it was a nice break in the course to have a place where you could just sit back and listen to the beauty of poetry. Now, the film study is something that people generally enjoy. That's not due for a little while. But I wanted to just mention to you something that I've just submitted to the course. And that is, we're coming up on one of the important essays in the class, and that is the analysis of the hero archetype. And that includes proposal, and it includes the final essay, and there are some things to do in the discussion board. Now, what I did, because we've had free time, is I've always wanted to have the luxury of time to actually write this hero archetype essay. It's my favorite. I came up with it all by myself. It's been one of my favorite assignments for many years, and yet I've never been able to actually write the essay. Well, I have now. And so if you go to the hero archetype, and right above where the proposal is due, which isn't due till the end of the month. So I think it's giving you plenty of time to complete your film unit. And if you want to, if you're interested in this, I have created this essay in step by step. I know, but you know what, we're all quarantined, so that's the best I can do. You'll have to forgive me. But I actually walk through the process of creating the essay all the way through, from the day 1 and day 2, which is the definition of terms, and the 3 is the completion of definition section. 3 is the proposal, And I thought our proposal turned out, I keep saying our, because I was recording this and I could just see some people watching with me, and I just consider us all in the same boat, that we're all doing this together. But I'm walking you through my thought process. And then the outline took a couple of days, and the payoff is, man, you got everything in the right place. Then we had the rough draft, and if you're interested in the details of the rough draft, this is sort of the overview. But I took you step by step through the whole process of writing it if you want a little bit more detail as I wrote that rough draft. And then we have the complete, I mean, that was a lot of trouble. The rough draft takes time. The final draft doesn't. So this is the final draft, and then of course I put it away, and then I come back to it and I do the last pass, and I'm ready to submit it. And the essay is actually right here for you to see the PDF. And yes, you can look at that. You can do anything you want to with this. It's not time tracked. It's not required. It's just there for your use if you want it. And I had an awful lot of fun writing this essay. I'm very proud of it. I think it's one of the most beautiful essays I've ever written. And one of the fun things about this particular topic, and it's the same topic that you see in the study pages for the hero archetype, which is Training Day. That was a film in 2001 and starred Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke, and very popular film. And so it was a lot of fun for me because this is a paper about a hero, and the hero is generally the good guy trying to get something done against all obstacles. And so that's how a protagonist is sort of located, by one who wants to do something and there are these obstacles, and an antagonist keeping him from doing the things that he wants to do. So I argue that this is actually a buddy story, and a buddy story means that you have two protagonists, each with different agendas, trying to arrive at a common goal, and they are stopped, or everything in the world is there to stop them in doing that. And so if I'm going to say Alonzo is a hero, I've got to prove it, because other people would say, no, he's an antagonist. Look what he wears. Look what he does. And so I have to go through and prove that, which I think I did really, really well. And so that's fun to look at. Now, if I was writing something with, let's say, Little Red Riding Hood and the fox, well, Little Red Riding Hood is obviously the protagonist of the story. What does she want to do? That's right, Little Red Riding Hood wants to take a basket of food to her grandmother. And the fox is doing everything in his power to keep her from achieving that. You have a clear protagonist and a clear antagonist. In Training Day, I think it's a little more complicated than that, and I submit that it is the world of the story that is the antagonist. And sometimes it's fun to do something like that. Yes, it makes more to prove. It would be easier to point to Jake as a hero, because clearly he's the protagonist. Clearly he has best of intentions. Clearly he is being held back from achieving what he wants. But I like a challenge, and I'm very pleased with this. So if you have time, now that we have time while we're, all inside and finding things to do, take a look at this and see what you think. Again, not in the least bit required. So we have plenty of time to work on this, and you have lots of time to make this your masterpiece. Now, as I've always said, and you'll hear me say it again right now, when you pick a topic for an essay like this, it better be a topic you love, because you're going to spend a lot of time with it. And I found myself with the particular essay that I wrote admiring and having more fun each day working on that character. So I never got tired of it. And you can see some other little tricks of the trade as I used as I wrote that. And then, of course, we move into your take home, the final exam, which is the creative writing essay, which should hopefully just be fantastic for you. And your topic proposal is not due until May 24th. And then you have till June 3rd to write that. So it's all manageable. You guys are doing awesome work. I want to show you something real quick. Just going to peel back the curtain a little bit and let you see what my grade book looks like. This is a Cyber Cafe, and I can see how many posts were created in these different boards. This was an early board from back in February, but I just want you to see what I see from my perspective. When I look on February 14th, sort of the beginning of the semester, and I see 31 posts in a Cyber Cafe, it makes me happy and proud of those people. And so please make sure that you take good care of the people in your cyber group. It's important. Let me show you another one. This is the weekly check-in that you're supposed to do every Monday. Remember, where you post and then people ask, if you ask a question, people answer it, you answer things. Remember, everybody, this was supposed to be done every week. So that's going to be important when your grades are figured out. You may not think so now, but every week this is supposed to be logged in. We have one post. This one's good. This one's awesome. Man, I love Cafe Group 5. What a great group. So, if you are thinking, oh my gosh, I've overlooked this important discussion board, make sure you go to discussions, make sure you click on Cyber Cafe Weekly, and then you just get as busy as you can possibly be. And I would start it today for this week, and then I would go in on Monday and I would keep working on it. Remember, this is a place where you ask questions, where you answer questions, and there's a tutorial that tells you about that. Y'all, that's not looking too good, and I don't like to see that. These can make a big difference in a grade. You don't think they do, and then you look at somebody that's got a 75% in the course, and they've got a -3 in a discussion board column. Yikes. But here we are with our pretty little picture. So you all have a good time. Again, I'm not going to be grading anything until Monday. So it's a good time to go back through your grade center, go through the modules, see what it is that you might be missing. Take time to go listen to those poetry readings. They're beautiful. They're just beautiful. And then do your film project and get those turned in. And then you'll have some time, if you like, to get a head start on that hero archetype and look at those tutorials that take you all the way through the process. All right? Okay, everybody, that concludes this tutorial. Y'all have a good weekend.